time now to march ahead in the right direction as far as Goa is concerned. And yes, we Goans have been privileged to have one politician, dynamic Honorable CM, Shri Manohar Parrikar, with his vision, mission, and excellent planning is on the path of developing Goa. Need of the hour is sustainable development, which can create job opportunities for the youth of Goa. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have amongst us our dynamic CM, Shri Manohar Parrikar, who is going to interact with us on Goa Vision 2022. I would like to request Executive Director of BNI Goa Region, to Mr. Rajkumar Kamath, to escort our Honorable CM, Shri Manohar Parrikar, to the dais. Now I would like to request Mr. Rajkumar Kamath to brief the August gathering about the summary of development at Goa BizFest.
Honorable Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar, Nana Bab Bandekar, Anil Bab Kauto, Nilesh Bab Cabral, Vice Chairman Emeritus of BNI India, Norm Dominguez, Mr. Gaurav Singhvi, the keynote speaker for the next session, Executive Directors of BNI from different parts of India, Directors and members of BNI from other regions, members of BNI, students, GEMS mentors, ladies and gentlemen, and our dear guests. Since yesterday, we started Goa BizFest 2018. We have been trying to keep a track of how Goa BizFest has been faring. I will like to give you a few statistics on what has happened so far. The career cum job fair is going on. We have had 76 companies registered. Some have interviewed candidates yesterday. Some are going on still now, and some would be doing it tomorrow. All these 76 companies had 1,299 vacancies. In our app, 1,423 job seekers had registered. As of 1 p.m. today, 607 job seekers were interviewed. We still have 1.5 days to go. Out of which, 250 job seekers have been shortlisted, a good ratio of more than 45%. Besides this, we had a startup conclave. In the startup conclave, more than 160 budding entrepreneurs and final year students participated. The startup conclave taught the budding entrepreneurs about soft skills, about ideation, about financing of their enterprise, and of course, business plan preparation. Tomorrow, we are having project presentations of the final year engineering students. You'll be glad to know that in this app or the online registration, so we have received 174 project ideas have been submitted online for a funding need of about 81 crores. The total registrations for Goa BizFest so far is 3,801. The people visited as of 1 p.m. has been 2,200. In the last 1.5 days, we have had knowledge sessions, which included entrepreneurship in emerging era, emerging technologies, Goa as a next tech hub, safe and secure Goa, clean, green, and smart cities, and a session which we just finished, scale up your business. During the Goa Next Tech Hub, we had a panel discussion, and the observations are as follows. Startup has become the byword. A lot of youth want to get into it and need guidance. GEMS, with help from other stakeholders like Goa Technology Association, would be getting into full steam in guiding these youngsters. In the last 1 month, GEMS has signed a MOU with Don Bosco Engineering College, Fatorda, and AITD Asagaon for mentoring, having business incubation centers and mentoring their students in biz clubs. In this panel discussion, it was also opined that Goa can pull entrepreneurs who like the Goan lifestyle. Infrastructure is not bad at all. There are so many success stories with the existing infrastructure without the government support, without too much of government support. So government support can be a big booster to make Goa a tech hub. There was a request that bigger companies and government should patronize the startups by giving business to these new startups. We also had a closed-door roundtable involving the heads of different industry organizations like the Goa Chamber of Commerce. We had the NIPM, National Institute of Personnel Management. We also had Director of Technical Education, Director of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. We had the Labor Commissioner and a few others. Some of the things that came out is colleges which are presently doing 2 to 3 months internship, 2 to 3 weeks internship, need to increase the internship to 5 to 6 months. Fortunately, sir, we could interact in the morning with the Vice Chancellor, in the evening with the heads, the directors of technical education, and today we had an interaction with the academicians. It was also felt that while the students who are learning, their skills could be upgraded through intensive internships, government to come up with a scheme which encourages skilled trainees for volunteering companies, maybe offer salary subsidies for these trainings. However, a process for certification needs to be established. Another point that came up is make 2 to 3 years experience compulsory for government jobs so that youth start getting themselves skilled instead of waiting for the government job without working. Government identifies 5 aspirational skills, for example, hospitality, and establish centers of excellence for these skills, which should be on par with the global standards. These are the skills which Goans naturally take to, skill them and make them ready for global employment, not just employment in Goa. Industry, academic and government needs to work together to take this to logical conclusion by clear actions. In fact, during today's meeting with the GEMS and academicians, it was more or less a unanimous suggestion that the syllabus which gets revised every 7 years has to change at least 2 years, if not even more frequently. That there should be more activity-based learning, application-based learning, rather than the normal learning method, just information gobbling. There should be more skill courses, including soft skills, and upskilling of faculty should be a priority. These were some of the things that came out of the Goa BizFest so far. We hope during the coming next 24 hours that we would be here, many more inputs we should be receiving, and we would be submitting it to the government. Friends, on behalf of BNI, GEMS, all our partner organizations, and behalf of all of you, I would like to thank the Honorable Chief Minister for making time from his busy schedule to be with us. Not only to be with us, we would also like to thank him for the full-hearted support that the government has come up with for organizing this Goa BizFest. And I think we need to give a big round of applause for our beloved Chief Minister for what he is doing despite different challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajkumar sir. It's always pleasure to hear you speak about BNI. Ladies and gentlemen, we have very important dignitaries amongst us, and I take this privilege to introduce you our chief guest. December 13, a date inauspicious to some, but lucky to Radhabai as she became mom. Holding a baby in tiny clothes plate was Gopal Krishna, his proud dad. Destined to dazzle was this lad. In New Goa High School, excelled this guy cool. To gain a wealth of knowledge, he went to St. Xavier College. Accolades did he earn. When in IIT Mumbai, he went to learn. He won the hearts of all in games like cricket and football. Late Mrs. Mehta was his sweet wife. Sons Utpal and Abhijit are the love of his life. When lucrative careers for IITians were in fashion, politics did he choose as passion. And to MLA's position, he quickly arose. A simple leader with visionary outlook, oath as Chief Minister on 24th October he took. With his exceptional ability to dreams like IFI, he turned to reality. A tiny jewel in India's crown, Goa, under his leadership, became renowned. When others dealt with inflation, corruption, and lies, he amazed nation by bringing down petrol price. Challenges many he does face, but his face seldom shows a trace. With enthusiasm and zeal, he indulged in promo for Namo as BJP Supremo. And in return, Namo gave the best gift to the country by making him our nation's Raksha Mantri. Having him as our chief guest gives us pride, ladies and gentlemen. Presenting with pleasure the Chief Minister with treasure, the Surgical Strike Supremo of Bharat Sarkar, Shri Manohar Parrikar. Now I would like to request the Senior Director Consultant in charge of invitation and promotion, Mrs. Nimisha Kambar-Narkani, to welcome our chief guest with floral bouquet. Thank you, Nimisha. Before we move to the Goa Vision 2022 session, there is a special and much deserved recognition of a business legend in Goa. BNI Goa region is privileged to honor a great son of Goa with a Lifetime Achievement Award. I would like to invite the founder president of BNI Apran, Shri Manoj Patil, to introduce us this business legend.
Before I introduce Nanabab, I would like to recognize the presence of Dan and Sopte and requesting Ratnadeep to kindly give a bouquet to him, please. Friends, Nanabab, as he is popularly known, was born at Vasco. After graduating from the prestigious Wadia College, Pune, Nanabab joined his family mining business. Over a period of time, through sheer grit, diligence and vision, Nanabab, as Narayan Bandekar is fondly referred to, expanded the scope and horizons of his business empire, NRB Group. As on date, the NRB Group's business ventures have diversified into areas broadly covering mining, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, hospitality, events and concepts, entertainment, retail and Ayurveda wellness. Some of the key achievements from Nanabab's steering career that spans 4.5 decades are very recent venture of becoming the first Indian conglomerate to establish their NRB pharma manufacturing unit in Lusaka, Zambia. In addition, the NRB Group has also ventured into pharmaceuticals in their home ground by acquiring the Thivim Pharmaceuticals at Mapsa. The NRB Group has ventured into new health-focused initiatives named Tirth Wellness Retreat in idyllic countryside of South Maharashtra. The group has also tied up with Norbert D'Souza and has started its fitness center named NRB Norbert's Fitness Studio in Vasco for healthy living. Other milestones that NRB Group has achieved in the past are the first extension of the Dabolim Airport runway. Nanabab's real estate company has also handled lots of key housing projects. Nanabab was the president of Goa's premier cross-sector business and industry body, the 107-year-old Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry from 2013 to 2017, that's continuously for 2 consecutive terms. He is also the president of Goa Mining Association and serves as member of the managing committee of Goa Mineral Ore Association, which is the leading voice of Goa's foremost mineral ore export business body. A patron of sports, arts and various socio-cultural activities, his philanthropy and support to the needy is legendary. He was the president of the Lions Club of Vasco da Gama in '78. He brought the Indian sport Kho-Kho into the national focus and acclaimed by organizing the national games in Goa as president of the All Goa Kho-Kho Association. He was also the founder of Vasco Sports Club. The Manda and Narayan Bandekar Charitable Trust is another philanthropic initiative of Mandatai and Nanabab. The trust runs various social initiatives, a few of which are prestigious Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan School at Upasnagar, religious institutions, literary and artistic pursuits. In addition, the trust has also given to the society a community hall at Sirgaon. NRB Group has also done construction and development work of number of temples. And the most recent and significant initiative taken by the trust was in supporting the upgradation of a 5-bedded post-operative cardiovascular and thoracic intensive care unit at the Goa Medical College, which was inaugurated on the 20th December in the presence of the Honorable Health Minister Vishwajit Rane and Shri Narayan Bandekar. Plenty of accolades have come Nanabab's way, among which he cherishes the Best Social Worker of the State Award bestowed on him in 2013 by the Social Welfare Department, Government of Goa. Nanabab reserves special attention to civic activities in his hometown Vasco and is known to walk the talk with time, resources and hands-on involvement. Let's welcome the most lovable and energetic Nanabab Bandekar. May I request Vinay Verma to kindly escort Nanabab to the dais, please.
Requesting the Chief Guest, Honorable CM, to felicitate our last time achievement awardee, Narayan Bandekar. Nanabab, this August gathering is eager to hear you.
Good evening. Sorry, my voice. Good evening, BNI. Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Manohar Parrikar, my friend Rajkumar Kamath, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press. First of all, I thank both BNI and GEMS, the principal organizations of Goa Business Fest, for conferring this Lifetime Achievement Award on me. There are few more significant things that can happen in person's career than being acknowledged by the community of your own fellow business persons. I am very much touched by this award and thank everyone involved. As I reflect on some of my difficult and challenging times in my life, I thank the alumni and my parents for settling me on path that would take me to this point of being appreciated and awarded by all at this very prestigious event. I started my career at a young age of 22, learning the ropes of then sunrise mining industry from my father and my uncle. From excavating the pits manually to carrying the ore in bullock carts and then through canoes. I have seen the mining industry grow by leaps and bounds since then. and I am quite happy to have been a part of this journey of the mining industry, which still recently was the backbone of Goan economy. I started my business career in era when telecommunications were non-existent in Goa. There were just a few phones in a few offices, and it used to take days to connect with anyone outside Goa. Being able to talk over on the phone to some of our Japanese and other overseas buyers was next to impossible. Air travel was very risky and uncomfortable, and add a zeal to do the business drove a few crazy people like me, the Sargaonkars, the Dapos and the Chokles, and the few others. It is on the foundation laid by these few enterprising daredevils that has helped Goa emerge as the good manufacturing and the business hub. When I am mentioning that this because today is much easier to conduct your business due to various advancement in technology. With the mobiles and internet, you can connect with the rest of the world instantly. The air travel is much faster and comfortable and allows you to reach any part of the world within 24 hours. The transportation and logistics are improved so much that without much hassles, you can import or export from any country in the world. But despite all this advancement in technology, I know that doing business is still difficult proposition. Now the facilities have increased and so also the competition. Earlier we were competing against few people within our immediate vicinity, but today you are competing globally. Today's business are facing a different set of challenges, but I would like you to be inspired by the heroic exploits of the veterans like me and the Dampos, Sargaonkars and Chogles and so many others, and go beyond what they have achieved and bring laurels to the state. As we look to the future, we all recognize just how important it will be that we work to build connections with trading partners not only within Goa and India, but around the world, strengthening links with old friends and creating new opportunities. This is the core strength of the BNI, with more than 250 lakhs members and nearly 8,500 chapters across the world. No other organization can help in fostering business connection better than BNI. And the fact that the BNI is the main force behind the BizFest makes me quite confident that small and the medium-sized entrepreneurs in Goa have a bright future. I hope the BNI and the GEMS continue to guide the younger generation of entrepreneurs on Goa, and I wish this BizFest all the success. Once again, I thank the organizers for felicitating me with the Lifetime Achievement Award, and I hope that this will serve as an inspiration to the youngsters present here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nanaba. May I request Executive Director Rajkumar to escort our Lifetime Achievement Award to the traveling and take your respect. Ladies and gentlemen, the tourism industry in Goa has gone through a paradigm shift in last 6 years with some innovative escapes such as in the introduction of hot balloon ride, river rafting, etc. There has been tremendous increase in quality rather than quantity as far as inflow of tourists in Goa is concerned. And the man responsible for this is amongst us. BNI Goa region take this opportunity to felicitate this gentleman with an excellent award. Similarly, in construction activity, as far as construction activity in Goa, we have seen many stakeholders who ventured into this business and have given up. But one gentleman who is still going strong in this business and also have ventured into hospitality and automobile business is with us, and we would like to acknowledge his contribution to the economy of Goa by presenting him with an excellent award. To know more about why we are giving these two awards to this most deserved personalities in Goa, I would like to request our Executive Director, Mr. Rajkumar Kamath, to brief this august gathering.
Friends, there is one government corporation which has acted like an entrepreneur, catalyzing tourism in Goa, taking decisions like businessmen, multiple initiatives like Goa, a 365-day destination, supporting and boosting innovative tourism activities. Yes, GTDC, Goa Tourism Development Corporation, and heading this corporation for the last 10 plus years is the chairman, Mr. Nilesh Cabral, the MLA of Kurcharam, a leader who has taken bold decisions, taking tourist arrivals from 2 lakhs to 6 lakhs. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Mr. Nilesh Cabral, Chairman GTDC, for the substantial contribution to tourism sector in Goa. The construction sector in Goa, whether it is construction real estate, jetties, hotels, theaters, manufacturing industries, the cement manufacturing, the RMC, different concrete products, microfines, everything in construction, from forward to backward integration. There is only one company in Goa which has done this, the Alcon Kauto Group. Spread in every aspect of construction, a person who has contributed substantially to construction industry in Goa. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for this self-made man, Mr. Anil Kauto.
Nilesh, Bob.
Thank you, BNI. I'm speaking again, but I'm fortunate to speak in front of my Honorable Chief Minister. So it gives me an opportunity. Rajkumar Bab also has given me an opportunity and award in a different way. Not award for being part of you, but award recognizing my efforts for the last many years in helping tourism to grow along with the efforts of my Honorable Chief Minister. And I take this opportunity not only to thank BNI for recognizing. Recognition is a very big part of any politicians, I feel. I think that is, it is something which gives a boost to the politician to do good for the state, to good for the country. And I sincerely, with my deepest gratitude, I accept this award. And I only have to say a few things before I leave the stage to my Honorable Chief Minister, that Goa can do wonders with your leadership and your ability to take Goa forward. Decisions which are required at the instant, where tourism sector has to be taken in the right direction and show the flow in giving political decision. And that is the only request I will make to Honorable Chief Minister. Sir, I am, if not on your footsteps, but following your footsteps to take Goa to a different level. Thank you, BNI. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nilesh Ba. Can we have Anil Bab for your acceptance speech?
Chief guest of the today's function, Manohar Parrikar, our beloved Chief Minister, and friends. I am really honored to have this sort of, from the BNI group, the entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs. I already spoken last about a half an hour back and expressed my all views and all. This is the second time I'm coming forward to express my gratitude and thanks for the BNI. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vandilba. Now I would like to request Mr. Nikhil Shah regarding the souvenir of release of Give and Gain souvenir. It's over to Nikhil Shah.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my pleasure to address this August gathering. I'm sure you all have been enjoying the various sessions we have held till now and the Business Expo too. It has been very exciting for us to put all this together and present to you Goa's largest business convention. We have heard the distinguished speakers and panelists all agreeing to the fact that mentoring is indeed the need of the hour. This indeed reinforces our belief and purpose for initiating the Goa Entrepreneurship Mentoring Services Trust. Time and again, we have heard governments appeal to business houses to come together and help overcome challenges like employability, economic balance, etc. Our 3-day extravaganza is aimed at inclusive growth and development of job seekers, budding entrepreneurs, startups, the stakeholders such as industries and business houses, educational institutes, and of course the state government. And when we approached the Honorable CM with this proposal, he commended us for the initiative and immediately agreed to support this event. The various departments like IT, Youth Affairs, Tourism, Labor, Transport, and Industries were very cooperative too. Thank you, CM Sir and Shri Nanabab, for your trust and support, and I'm sure we can expect this support in future too. This event wouldn't have been a success without all the stakeholders, and we express our gratitude to all the partner associations like CREDI, GCCI, GSIA, IIA, IGBC, FSAI, and TTAG. I believe an initiative like this could be the blueprint that could firmly take Goa faster towards positive development and growth. A blueprint that possibly many states would be eager to adopt. A historic occasion like this had to be documented, and what better way than a magazine to commemorate this event. I would like to call upon the Honorable CM to please release this magazine. Please, sir. And I would also request Shri Nanabab if you can accompany us on this. Harshvardhan, sir, if you could come up too. And Mr. Tanveer Singh from Nexa. Requesting Norm Dominguez also to please come up, sir. Friends, at this juncture, I would like to recognize the presence of Perdem MLA, Mr. Sopte, amongst us. Can I request Prem Nadar to offer him a bouquet? Now we come to the highlight of Goa BizFest, that is interview of Honorable CM by Mr. Pramod Acharya, the editor of Prudent Media. May I request the founder, president of APRAN, Manoj Patil, to escort Pramod Acharya to the dais. And it's your privilege, the president of Goa BizFest 2018 and the senior consultant, handsome Vinay Verma, to introduce Pramod Acharya to the August gathering.
Good evening, BNI and my fellow friends. First, I would like to welcome our Honorable CM and Mr. Pramod Acharya. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so pleased and fortunate to have the chance to introduce Shri Pramod Acharya. He is one of the most followed journalists and media whiz who has in-depth knowledge of what's actually going around us. And who better than him can get the right mood set for the upcoming conversation with the Honorable CM. He has been one of the key relevant connect of the media line for several years, and it truly stands that he is shining out in this field. He has worked as bureau head of CNN IBN, CNBC and IBN Lokmat. He has also worked as sub-editor of Rashtramat and reporter of Sunaprant in print. Currently, besides heading Prudent Media and as its editor, which he is about to complete a decade, Shri Pramod Acharya also heads the multimedia wing of the Goan Everyday, an English newspaper, and Goan Varta, Marathi newspaper. His interview show, Head On, is longest running political talk show and has completed 250 episodes in season 1 and over 150 episodes in season 2. The show is still running. His debate show, The Debate, has completed a century. The gentleman has interviewed eminent personalities like Arun Jaitley, Digvijay Singh, Nitin Gadkari, Ravi Shankar Prasad, Arvind Kejriwal, Oscar Fernandez, Shri Ravi Shankar, Baba Ramdev, Chetan Bhagat, and the list goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, on a continued path of journalism and media success, and a way to progress further with a remarkable understanding of the core values of political and representing the general views of the people. We are all in for a treat today. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Shri Pramod Acharya for the conversation with the Honorable CM on his Goa Vision 2022. Thank you very much. Over to you, Pramod.
Good evening, everybody. I don't need to introduce my guest, and after that poetic and rhythmic introduction by Sadashiv of the chief guest here, I don't dare to. So I'll directly start with the topic of the session, that is Vision 2022. And sir, that is my first question indeed. What is Vision 2022? Is it there in your mind, considering all the scenarios that are happening around you? Is it formulating, formed? What is the scene?
My vision is much beyond 2022. I feel that just like we see the horizon, you should be able to see what is far away, if not in minute detail, at least the canvas. So 2022 horizon is a visible sight of the vision which lies ahead.
How do you see business or investment climate in 2022? Because if you look at the scenario, and how do you evaluate the scenario right now?
I think it is quite comfortable. A lot of activities have been happening over last 2-3 years. disruptions which probably some people might feel that they have sort of injured their businesses. But in longer term, I think those issues of putting business on the track, like for example, GST is one single achievement according to me, which is going to have a very long impact on the economy and the climate. It will take time to get into the mode for GST. Already we are, I would say about 80-90% of the issues are resolved. We do have challenges still, but GST is a right way forward, and it requires courage and determination of leadership to go for such decisions. So prospects for industry is extremely good in India, and I'm very sure that as days go by, the industrial climate, opportunity for better solutions would be much easier to come by.
One question I want to ask you, and because all the business community is here. Whenever you are talking about the investment scenario and your plans for the business community, you present some nice grand ideas, but you often see that your bureaucracy isn't able to cope up with that. You have a vision, you have a plan, but as far as your bureaucratic team is concerned, it still functions at the pace of the 1980s. What are you doing to change that?
No, there are few mechanisms by which you can take care of that. I can't blame bureaucrats all the time, because anything which does not follow a proper procedure is viewed with suspicion by those who are supposed to audit it. No one is going to ask you why you invested so much money in a particular venture, provided you follow the procedure well. But someone is going to ask you for a small amount also why you did not follow the routine procedure. So once these aspects comes in, the problem becomes more and more. We in India have one habit which I think probably does exist abroad also, and that is when something goes wrong, we tighten the regulatory framework rather than punish the person. For example, if there are accidents by truckers on the highway, the solution is to enforce the law, because law does not permit you to drink and drive. How do you enforce it is a matter of your working out, like for example, the punishment can be quite severe. I don't think the Europe or US, there is normally less chances of people not following the law. They are there, but they know that if you break the law, you are going to be punished very severely. So the fear of law is one, education is two, and the third one is obviously how to apply the regulatory framework with how much heavy hand. That also needs to be decided.
So you spoke about regulatory mechanism as well as the procedures. And one of the great ideas that came into existence was investment promotion board. And government was very serious about it. You yourself took personal interest into it. But couple of years down the line, we see even the investment promotion board is marred in controversy, and you yourself reviewed many projects. Why does that happen?
No, I think the interpretation of the legal position was not clearly understood. We got the legal advice and we are following that now. There is no controversy anymore.
What more would you like the board to do now?
We have enough on the plate. We are trying to ensure that everyone who has applied to us, say by end of February, is cleared by March. So a lot of exercise is going on. The consultant is on board. He is evaluating at a rate of almost 1 per 2 days, one proposal. So a lot of proposals will move forward, and by March 31st, I don't see any pendency in the clearance. Thereafter, it will move smoothly. We had some bout of bad luck. One is, of course, the controversy of CRZ, which was unwarranted because people at the helm did not probably took the matter in the strict legal sense. They went by their interpretation, which was not exactly correct. Second, we had a CEO who unfortunately developed very severe cancer. So obviously again there was a disruption, but now I think the things are in proper favor.
What kind of industries through investment promotion board would you like to promote? Because there is always a talk that you should only promote green industries and you should completely keep red industries away. Is it practical, pragmatic in real sense?
There are various colors given to the industry and type of product. There is a green, there is orange, and there is red. Now green obviously is welcome. There are no restraints. Environmentally they are very friendly. But orange definitely is not a problem. Sometimes the orange may be a problem in a particular area, but it is generally also welcome. Red, we very carefully we analyze what is listed as red. And mostly we don't encourage that kind of industry. But there are those which are kept out of investment promotion board are very clearly spelled out under section 8. Those are basically CRZ areas, forest areas. There are specialized agencies to grant permission for that. They can approach them. But the investment promotion board, being a state agency, does not go into it.
One more crucial aspect that has come to the fore now in last couple of days is about mining. And how are you planning to sustain the impact?
In which way? There are three
in economic terms, in business terms, as well as in employment terms.
There are three areas of impact. One is area of impact is government revenue. I don't see big reason why I should be much worried about it. That's because of, I'm talking only of government part of it. That is because number one, mining, which was about 18% of GDP in 2012 when they were shut down, and I managed to ride over the situation, today forms only about 4.5% of the GDP, possibly not even that. So that is one aspect. Second, the judgment is only on the lease and not on extraction if you proceed through legal means. Most important, there is no ban on export. So the current inventory can take us through up to December. Meanwhile, the legal procedures and legal options are being checked up, and we will follow them. I hope by December we should get the industry back. So that's for the government part of it. The local people definitely will face problem because of unemployment. That aspect will actually start after rainy season, because the existing stock plus the time given could very well take us to May, and after that, as it is, mining industry was stopped. One, of course, agriculture can be pushed in those areas, which we had done in 2012-13. The third aspect is about starting the mine and the industry which was depending on the mine. Well, through the legal process, they can be also part. They have not been debarred to being a part.
What are the options right now in front of the government? Are there legal options, or are you looking at administrative options to tackle the scenario?
There is no point in going into the legal options, is because number one, the review lies with the same bench. I think many aspects have not been understood in spite of we trying to make them clear. One aspect is about economy or the finances. Even in auction, it is financial aspect. It is nothing different. When you auction a mine, there is no social aspect involved. When we gave lease, we didn't give it free. There are many mine owners here, but Nanabab will tell you. We charge quite a substantial fees for the lease. And possibly I collected something like 500 crores out of the lease fees. Of course, I was not the chief minister then. It was basically Manohar Parrikar. But the decision was taken during my tenure. And the decision was taken based on High Court decision. So how do I go on interpreting? High Court says one, then Supreme Court says that High Court decision is not wrong, not right. High Court has not interpreted us correctly. So it's a confusion scenario. So there is no point in going for any further legal to complicate the matters more. But definitely there are other options available.
Another important issue is of skilled labor. For example, the Mopa airport is coming up now. Are we prepared when we are planning for certain industries, when we are inviting certain industries, are we prepared in terms of manpower and skilled labor to ensure that the manpower is available locally? And what government intends to do about it?
In certain sectors, the local manpower can be very well trained to acquire the skills. Like for example, the pharma sector has managed quite well by training the local manpower to adopt the good practices. The local manpower do have advantage of knowledge of English, understanding the good practices, and the industry itself does not require a very heavy, it's not a labor incentive. So there the local manpower is getting trained, and wherever new units are coming, we are putting there. As far as airport is concerned, there is a very clear section in the concession agreement that necessary manpower, a training facility will have to be provided. We are arranging to have it in Pichole Polytechnic and Tuya Polytechnic, special courses, so that the people for airport are ready when the airport becomes operational.
The government also has a Human Resource Development Corporation. What was the intention behind it, and how can it help in benefiting the local
There
business
are two
enterprises?
aspects to Human Development Corporation. One aspect is we found that when we engage, for example, security agency or a housekeeping agency in the government sector itself, we found that the private sector does not on many occasions follow the minimum required standards which they have to take care with the manpower. They do two things. Ultimately, government, see, I am in Goa. When I was defense minister, I would take care of full India. But as a Goa chief minister, my interest is primarily located with the manpower of the state. The manpower of the state is slightly costlier. It is a wrong notion that Goa people are not ready to work as a security personnel or are not ready to work as a housekeeping personnel. What is actually happening is when a Goan gets employed, he expects a reasonable salary as per the standard set up by the government, the minimum wages and all that. But many of the private security agencies, I found them, they get hordes of people from areas which are probably less developed at a lesser cost. Get them here and virtually cram them almost like cattle in small rooms without proper facilities, pay them very less, almost like bonded laborers, and provide such security without proper legal framework. So one aspect of Goa human resource development is to ensure to provide security and services of housekeeping to the state government and train them. The other aspect which has not now started is create skilled manpower for other, I would say, class 3 and class 4 requirement. Maybe for the state government or maybe for the market also.
Another issue that must be bothering many of the business minds here is whenever a project takes shape in our state, there are lot many activists coming forward and objecting to it, taking legal ways to block it and stop it. And ultimately the investment is endangered. What is state government doing to ensure that the minimum investment that government is giving permission for, after clearing all the procedures, after clearing all the files, that investment is eventually protected?
One thing we have to remember in business also is that required legal permission cannot be bypassed. If some project requires environment clearance, and I have not exempted even a district court building for it. I have asked them to obtain the clearance and then only proceed with the construction. So, legal requirement must be complied with. All the projects under IPB, wherever the legal requirement were properly, except this CRZ part, which we have now taken care of, the legal provisions have been complied with. I don't think there are any problems or any bottlenecks. Most of these projects, of course, are expansion or in industrial estate. But beyond industrial estate also, there are projects, for example, the hotel projects which are there. I have not seen a single project facing major issue. This battle of NGOs and industry, where industry takes proper permission, need not be troublesome. We have, for example, even for constructing Zuari Bridge, now everyone here will agree, or rather, for that matter, everyone in the state will agree that Zuari Bridge is a must, because the old bridge is virtually dying down. And if you don't construct a new bridge in next 3-4 years, you may really face a discommunication between North Goa and South Goa district. In real sense, they will be split. The ferry boats will not be able to handle so much traffic. But in this Zuari Bridge matter also, we faced about 3 or 4 environmental cases which we won in the court. I faced environment opposition to even Saligaon waste treatment plant, which is today classed as number 1 and case study by many. I faced problem for Mandovi Bridge, you are aware of it. The Mandovi Bridge probably got delayed by 1 year because of Green Tribunal cases, which ultimately we won. We faced problem for behind Hira petrol pump garbage treatment for Panji city, which actually was requirement of the city for a very long time. The city was facing problem and we were taking care of environment. But we faced the problem from the environment NGOs also. There are 2 classes of NGOs. NGOs which have serious interest in the environment. I respect their sentiment and I support them many times. There are few people who in the guise of NGOs, have converted this into either a troublemaking machine or a racket. We have to take care of those people. I think many of them are already subsiding in terms of activity, because everywhere they went, we saw to it that proper. See, the government faces major problem of not putting its case properly. We put up our case properly everywhere and ensured that we win. Moment they realize that we are winning, the issue got resolved.
Last question before I open it for the public. Don't you think there is a trust deficit as far as the political class is concerned? Not only from the business community, but overall from the people.
I don't think. People elect the political class. There is a question of trust deficit. When we start treating some people as a representative of people, see, we have a democratic setup. In democratic setup, at every level, you elect an representative. That is the right system of going through. If something illegal happens, you can definitely go to the court. There is no problem. But if someone tries to take leadership beyond this, it is not that he has a leadership. Now, for example, the coal issue. The government took action on the pollution part of it. No one can point finger at us. But those who were trying to rack up the issue were saying that they are against coal. One question which I am asking repeatedly to everyone, including media, why don't you ask them one question? If you are against coal, why are you using coal power? I'm not saying that coal goes for the same power given to us, but that is not the principle of business. In business, something will be brought from here, something will be consumed from there. But there are coal burning plants at Shri, Korba, Ramagundam, which are burning huge amount of coal, polluting the atmosphere, including sulfuric acid rains, people suffering there, and giving power to state like Goa. If you are against coal, then you should not use power generated by these units. That is really the sensible statement of being against coal. I agree that if someone has to be against the pollution caused by the coal, I agree with you. But then the other problem came. Therefore, yesterday, more than 3,500 workers of MPT, retirees, they walked through the street of Vasco to protest against those who are demanding shutting down of Marmagao Port Trust. Because Marmagao Port Trust is basically supporting their economic activity. There are more people, another 5,000-6,000 families which are dependent on it. I was just calculating yesterday what is the economic impact if MPT is shut down, just for argument's sake. If MPT is shut down, the economic aspect is that almost about 20 to 25,000 families in and around Vasco will be jobless or without any economic income. Vasco town, Murgaon town and surrounding areas virtually survives on two major PSUs. One is MPT, the other was Goa Shipyard. So if someone wants to stop, then he has to think 10 times. Secondly, who has a right? People who are suffering from the coal pollution, I can understand if they raise the issue. Why should someone from some remote village raise the issue of coal pollution in Vasco? Coal pollution is not accepted. I'm not ready to accept it, irrespective of who raises it. But the real issue has to be raised by people from the area, not from someone from outside.
So on this note, I open it to the audience. I will take a couple of questions before we wind up. Yeah, I can see one hand there, far away.
Good evening, sir. I just want to know what is single window clearance and does it work really in Goa?
It does. Now it has to be fine-tuned to ensure that it works in a real sense. For that you will have to create a front end, and then once a form is issued at a particular point, you will have to ensure that the agency which is given the task of single window ensures that all other agencies also clear the project. It will take some time for the mindset as well as mechanism to set in. But we are trying to make IPB as a single window for even the projects which it cannot sanction. So that you CRZ project, if it is there for investment, you can put up the file. IPB will not handle it. IPB will analyze it and send it to government, which is the authority to approve it.
Yes.
It's not going to happen overnight, but I can assure you that we are working on that. On ease of business, year before last, we had only about 60-70 items ticked. This year, I think we have almost around 300 items ticked.
Yes. Next question.
So, my name is Ramchandra Prabhu Salgaonkar. My question is that at all India level as well as a Goa level, there are a lot of schemes that are rolled out or a lot of initiatives that are taken. Smart City being one, Vision Goa 2020. How do we get these initiatives down to the common man? Because my experience with Smart City is that people are not connected. The initiative is good, but how do you plan to get it down to
the people who are actually going to get benefited out of it?
In the morning, I was with student community or youth, and Pramod was only interviewing. We asked one question to students, mostly they were students. How many of them have heard of interest-free loan scheme? Now this loan scheme has been in detail sent to the school, colleges, and virtually the colleges are under obligation to inform the student about it. We found hardly about 30% people knowing about it. It's operational for last 15 years. It must have so far financed at least about 7,000-8,000 students for their postgraduate, including abroad education without interest. And it has so far given out almost around 50 crores in terms of loans, interest-free loans. Now this is one flagship scheme for the students. The awareness among students itself is 30%. I'm just saying this because any scheme, the people connect will come only when we educate the citizens about seeking more information on various issues. Nowadays, many of these informations are available on the websites. Then more interactive session has to be also conducted. So you'll have to continuously churn or stir the citizenry to make them aware of the issue more.
Yeah.
There is no solution to hard work.
My name is Chinmay Kamath. I'm very keen to know where the tendering process or the RFP of Smart City has reached from Goa government side.
I think many of them are loaded. There are various issues of Smart City. There are areas which are infrastructural. Some of them are getting loaded or are being finalized. So you can expect quite a few coming up in coming 1 or 2 months, if they have not already been floated.
Yeah, we'll take one more question and then we'll wind up. Yeah.
So I'm Caesar Fernandez. I manufacture wooden cottages. So recently, last 2 years we've been having problem for business because of the CRZ permissions actually.
What?
And it's CRZ permissions. So we had a lot of difficulties and what have you to say? And do you think this year we'll be able to get some permissions?
CRZ is basically a independent authority. It is not directly under control of the government. I am Minister Environment and I am an administrative handling of the CRZ comes under me. But actual permission is an authority job. If you bring to my notice a specific case, I can ask them to give me brief. But I can't tell you because it doesn't come to me. There are many illegalities committed by the people, and most of the time CRZ authority is always in NGT fighting cases. So they are more careful about giving permission. But if there are specific institutional difficulties, please bring to my notice, I will act on it.
So there are many, actually last 2 years none of us have got permissions actually.
For what?
For the private shack owners.
Private shop owner, probably in another week's permission will start coming out. There was restrictive order saying that you have to carry out capacity of each area and allot. We find in 1 or 2 areas it has been exceeded. But I have been told that by 17th, 18th, they should start issuing the license.
Yeah, last one.
Good evening, sir. For the smart city Panjim, like how do we blend heritage and modernism? Like example, in USA, Washington is all heritage and New York is modern. Or China, Beijing is all heritage, Shanghai is modern.
Mala is heritage, Pato is modern.
Yes. This is only part 1, sir.
It is across the creek.
So part two is, are casinos going to be part of smart city, or they going deep sea, or going 100 kilometers away?
Casinos are going to be shifted from Mandavi. You will get the casino policy in few days, possibly before the assembly session, or at the worst in the budget document.
Thank you.
That was supposed to be the last question, but Nilesh Cabral is raising his hand, so I can't deny him. Sir, with due respect to you, you're supposed to ask questions in assembly, no? Assembly. I'm asking as a common man, not as a legislator. I want to use taxis available in every major town on a tip of a fingertip. When will the solution come to Goa as a common Goan to use these taxis? Thank you, sir.
You are already on the verge of solution. Number one, you are aware that I have directed very clearly that the airport, the counter should be taken over by GTDC. So the counter service will be provided by an agency, which was earlier with the taximan. This has been spelled out by me in writing as well as in the press. Second, I have directed Kadamba already to provide coaches from the airport, so that a passenger who comes there doesn't have to compulsorily take at least during rush hour, doesn't have to take taxi as a compulsion. The first will take care of the taxis rate and line queues. Thus, once you put it in order. The second should ensure that a common passenger doesn't have to pay 2,000 rupees to reach Panji. He can pay 100 or 110 rupees and come to Panji and then take a rickshaw or something and go to his house, or ask his relatives or the close relatives to pick him up from the bus stand. So that should reduce one problem. Don't you think that things happen in a stepped manner? This indicates the resolve of the government that we want to resolve the issue, and no person will be permitted to take law in hand. During the last taxi strike, I will be very clear that we had made up very clear that if anyone tries to take law in his hand, we will come down very heavy. And during 3 days of the strike, the full transport service was maintained for the tourists as well as other people, though there was slight delays, but it was generally, unlike earlier strikes, when law and order had forced tourists on the roads. They were pulled out of the taxi, pulled out of the buses and made to walk on the road. This time that did not happen. That was resolve of the government. Government will proceed in stepwise. You have already gone for app. So let me see how good is your app.
This is surely my follow-up question, but the last question.
You have permitted him.
No, this is short last question, and I want to ask you and I want to end this session.
I have a question.
Taking the cue from Nilesh only. You have been giving schemes to truck owners. You have been giving lot of subsidies and schemes to taxi owners. But when it comes to listen to the government, all these associations say that this is my area, this is my boundary, nobody else can enter in this boundary, this is my territory. You give them schemes on one side, you give them, I won't call them doles, but I can call them doles, from one side, and then they mark their territories and they try to put pressure on the public infrastructure. How do you intend to resolve it?
Government job is to ensure that the business atmosphere remains calm, cool and under control. It is not my job to ensure that someone has a monopoly. If he tries to ensure his monopoly through law and order, we will crack down. I can assure you of this, whatever is the consequence. I have not allowed anyone to take law in his hand. You can check up during last this. And wherever there was some sort of a local agitation in case of trucks also, I told them very clearly, it is your commercial venture. You are making profit out of it. You sort out with the mine owners. I had given clear indication to whoever was the mine owner. that if you want, you can't sort out the issue, you tell me, I will provide enough police so that no law and order takes place. You can proceed with your transportation. But many times business also likes to sort out issue by talking. So there is nothing wrong in that. As far as schemes are concerned, I feel that while employment is a big challenge, there are areas where people are getting employed themselves. And if they are getting employed themselves, they have to be encouraged and supported. So the two issues are different. Just because I have given you scheme does not give you right to become arrogant and one who is not going to follow the law. So this aspect needs to be understood. Secondly, in case of taxis, for example, 2012 scenario was different. When I became Chief Minister for the first time, Goa had a Hindu rate of growth in tourism. Hindu rate of growth is not a communal word, but it means that you are growing at a rate of 1%, 2%, less than 3%. That is the word terminology used by economists. So I am making it clear to all the media that Hindu rate of growth is less than 3%.
Clear.
So, and the number was 13,80,000. During the 51 months, I got the number from 13,80,000 to 25,80,000. A compound growth of around 26-27%. Then again I was dismissed from 2005 till 2012. The growth of tourism from 25.80 was to 26.60. When I became Chief Minister in 2012, I had announced in the first budget itself that we will target for 6% agriculture growth and 6 million tourists by 2017. I am pleased to say that the first target is just lacking. We managed to get about 5% growth. The second target was exceeded. The tourism growth was from 6 million to almost about 7.5 million. Today it is around 7.58. It is hovering near that figure. The situation has changed. 2012, the taxi had a problem of getting enough business. Today I think business is not a problem. People don't want to use their own vehicles, but they are ready to use taxis if that taxi does not, he charges him reasonably. Now, how do you ensure that he charges him reasonable? He has to have a digital meter. We have already gone ahead, floated expression of interest. So I expect in about 3-4 months, digital meters will come. With digital meter, the demand for taxis from one point to other point, which was not existing so far. For example, if I want a taxi at Altino, where I stay, to go to my residence at Dona Paula, I have no option today. I think that option should come through the app and the whatever they call it, let him do it. Let me see how.
He has some nice ideas.
I have still better ideas. I will not spell out all the ideas now. You will get some of them in budget also.
Mr. Chief Minister, thank you for being such a wonderful guest, and thank you audience for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you. The last of the last question.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Sir, I just want to ask you, what is your vision when it comes to Goan entrepreneurship or small businesses? Because I personally, being into event manager, I want to do the 50th EP or prefers a 50th EP to be done by a Goan preferably. So what's your vision when it comes to small businesses?
has a complication of MOU with the Government of India. So I can't assure you IFI, but if you are going for event manager business, you have got enough opportunities of funding and enough business events coming up. So I don't think there will be shortage of, in fact, I would say in another 3 years, you will have to be specialized in event. Like for example, you might have to be a event manager of a marriage party. You might have to be event manager of a heritage tourism party. You might have to be event manager of a festival like Carnival. You have to be event manager for a festival like Serendipity. You might have to be event manager for a festival which may involve hinterland tourism. So event manager opportunities will come in hordes, and a general event manager may not be adequate in coming times. So be prepared to be specialized also.
Right, so actually I'm into this industry since past 7 years. I just wanted to know, like, for the growth, like I wanted to approach for the tenders of the government, basically. So I came to know, specifically talking about the tourism tenders, it says that you need a 3 years experience and you have to do the tourism events itself, which is not possible for a fresh company to do it. So you should be open up for a new company, give them a chance. Only then there will be more options.
I will reserve certain areas for smaller event and new upcoming startups.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
In fact, I would be very happy if you can handle events like Berlin or Moscow. But forget about Berlin, you go for some road show. I will ensure that certain amount is kept for that.
So actually I have done Goa tourism event
But
in Delhi.
to deal with Goa government, you need skills which are beyond event management.
Right, sir, right.
But if there is an event management with my department, you come to me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being such a wonderful guy.
Hello. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Hello. The function is not over. Please be seated. Thank you, Pramod, the interview specialist, for a lively session on Goa Vision 2022. I hope CM has replied to all the questions, and his vision and idea about this government is clear not only to this August gathering, but to all the Goans, since this program was telecast live by the Prudent Media. I would like to thank Pramod and Prudent Media for this wonderful. Before we move to the next point on the agenda, I would like to request the chief guest to address the August gathering.
Thank you. I wouldn't like to make a big speech, but one point I would like to make very clear, that you can't change the world in one shot. That's why one book which I have read long back, which one of my friends gave me, and a lot of people thought it otherwise, was 48 Laws of Power by Green. Now that book had one law which said, talk about change a lot. Take one step at a time. And that is quite important. You can't change the world, you can't change the overall administration in one shot. But if you take small steps at a time, probably after a certain period of time, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, you manage to motivate and change enough people, because people resist changes. People don't like changes. You will also not like changes. For example, if you want to try, go out, go home and change the position of TV set and see how your father reacts or how your kid reacts. It will come and make it back to the original position. Actually, by changing the position, you have not changed much. But ultimately, people don't like changes because changes are seen as harbinger of events of working more. So if I make a change, for example, I have to work more. In many cases, the changes actually reduces the work. But people see it as a more work. Sometimes it also happens that initially there is more work. Like for example, we are working on industrial schemes. Let me not divulge what they are. You will have to wait up till 22nd of February to know details about it. But these schemes, Rajkumar is here. You ask him how many times we sat on the draft trying to make it easier and easier and easier. At the same time, not to allow someone to misuse the scheme. So one way you make it easier, the other way you have to take enough precaution that someone does not misuse and loot the exchequer. Because you cannot guarantee that every person or every industrialist or every investor is honest and clean. You have to be careful about all these aspects also. Of course, there are investors who have reputation and those do count. But ultimately, you have to also ensure that government money is protected. Therefore, you have to work out mechanisms by which your load and complications are reduced. Governments should not govern, but they should be helping hand. They should be there. In fact, I remember one small note in Reader's Digest, maybe about 15-20 years when I read it. It's about one person who wrote a point to ponder or so, one of those. I used to love them. Life is all humor, humor in uniform. All those 2 pages, 3 pages, small events which has happened. One of the events she had described that she went to a particular restaurant which was known to be visited by VIPs. She went to that particular hotel, and when she wanted some salt, she picked up the salt dispenser and realized that it was not salt dispenser, though word salt was written on it. It was actually pepper dispenser. So the two names had got mixed up. The person immediately called the waiter. The waiter regretted profoundly, corrected the situation. When the bill was called for, or the check was called for, the manager of the hotel came and said, "Thank you, it is on the house. The check is on the house." So she obviously asked him, "What is the reason?" Said, "We made a mistake. You got pepper in place of salt. That was a mistake by the restaurant, and we are just expressing our regret by not charging you the bill." She said, "What is this? These are very small mistakes. It does happen." The next answer was very important. If you were Queen's mother, the hotel obviously was visited by VIPs like Prime Minister, Queen's mother. What if you were Queen's mother? Probably Indian audience will not understand the full impact of it. I can say that, what if you were President of India? Was the question. So the hotel was so obsessed with the idea that their service cannot go wrong. And once it happened, they punished themselves by not charging or sort of gave a gift to the client by giving them free dinner. We need to move towards that. We need to move towards zero defect in all aspects. Government should not govern, it only should be helping hand where you require. And zero error is possible. When I tell people zero error, people tell me that it is not possible. It's human error to err. It is human nature to make mistakes. How do you say zero? I ask them only one question. When you hold a child, has ever child fallen from your hand? That is zero error. So, if your mind is totally concentrated to ensure that a child should not be harmed and should not fall down, you can do the same thing for any other work you are doing. That is zero error. I think we need to set our goals on that and have to only ensure that society starts thinking positively. When I see a glass of water, those who think negatively say that this glass is half empty. I always see it as half full. I think we should take the good part of it and increase the goodness so that we can reach a full glass completely filled with water. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manohar Bhai. Your presence and your speech always